This is corn tortilla made with Masa flour that is easily available in all American grocery stores. This is a type of corn processed in an age-old method with lime or wood ash, which can be easily digested. This is naturally gluten-free as it is made to go well with Mexican sides. It can also be substituted in place of our wheat rotis to our Indian side dishes. Here I have used 1:1 proportion, that is 1 water to 1 measure of the flour. This process is very simple. Bring the water to boil. Of course, add a little bit of salt to your taste. Once the water reaches boiling point, add the flour and gently mix it. And at this point, you can reduce the heat to low and just mix it so that it cooks lightly and kind of mixes to a soft dough. Now you can turn off the heat. As you see, the dough has cooked quite a bit and it has turned to a soft dough. Now close the lid and let it rest for some time. Now this process is important. You have to knead the dough well when it is slightly hot or warm. I use this silicone mat which comes in handy. You can see how I work with the dough to make it into a soft, workable dough. You can also use KNEAD mixer with the dough hook to knead this dough. Now you can see how I use this silicone baking sheet to work with very hot dough. I use the mat to fold it and knead it until it is kind of warm enough to touch with my bare hands. You have to really give it a good kneading so that it is easy to work with. If you knead this dough very well, mix it very nice and into a soft consistency, the process of pressing it into tortilla and toasting it over a griddle makes it a very easy job. After you work with the dough for a while, it becomes soft, and now you can roll it into small round balls which can be easily pressed with a tortilla press. As I mentioned earlier, you can use KitchenAid hand mixer with the dough hook and give a good knead to the dough. That is easy too, but I like sometimes working with the soft dough. It's fun to work with it. Just make sure there are no lumps or any pockets of dough which hasn't been mixed and it is still dry. And once you can feel the dough is workable, now you can roll it into small rounds, which can be placed in between two small round silicone sheets and pressed with the help of a tortilla press. Once you work with this dough, it is time to make small rounds like these, and you can actually store it in a small container and close the lid so that it doesn't dry out. So you can also place this container in the refrigerator and press the tortillas whenever you want. If you store these ready-made dough rounds in the refrigerator, you can only work with a tortilla press. You cannot use any other method of pressing it. Here in this video, I have also shown how you can press these tortillas without having a fancy tortilla press. It can be a little tricky and a little hard, but it is still doable. Here I have used a heavy-duty tortilla press made out of wood, which is 11.5 inches wide. I bought this from Amazon.com. I will put the link to these products in the description box if you want to buy it. And also I have used 2 silicone sheets, which is usually used for lining small pizza pan or cake tin. I only use iron griddle for toasting the tortillas. It's very important to spread some oil over it before you cook the tortillas. This is how I place one round tortilla soft dough in between the silicone mat and keep pressing while I turn it so that it evenly gets pressed. As this dough doesn't have any gluten in it, you can see rough edges on the side. It won't be as nice and round like a flour tortilla. If you have experience making regular Indian rotis, this process is very easy for you. It's as simple as cooking the same kind as roti. Just make sure the bottom layer is well cooked before you flip it. So you can see it can be a little sticky for the first time when you're turning, but it becomes easy once it is cooked well. You have to have a little bit of patience, but it cooks really fine and very easy at this point. Keep flipping and it puffs up very easily. You cannot go wrong at this point. I'm just showing this process again so you can understand how this is made. If you don't want to buy the huge tortilla press, you can still make it with these 2 silicone sheets. Even a beginner can make nice tortillas with the help of these 2 silicone mats. This process is very easy, but it might not make pretty looking tortillas, but it is still fine, it is edible, it cooks, it tastes great. If you still like to have your tortillas round shaped, you can always use some kind of lid or something to cut it into round shape. You can see it in my video later. Here I am making the tortilla with regular roti making supplies. That is, you can use your regular rolling pin and the mat or anything, or on the countertop, and press it like roti. This requires a bit of experience, but it is still doable. It might take a long time, it can be messy, but it is still doable. If you're making just like 3 or 4 for one person, then you can always work with these. You don't have to have all the fancy supplies for it. Most easiest way to make tortilla for beginners. You will not get perfect round or perfectly looking tortillas, but it is still, you can cook it, it is edible. This is a detailed video tutorial to make gluten-free tortillas for beginners. I mainly made this for my kids. Here I have the cooked tortillas made with all 3 different methods. Here you can see the difference in its looks when it is cooked in 3 different methods, but in the end all taste same. Once you repeat this few times, a little bit of practice, you will be able to make fine tortillas. This is a very easy, economical and satisfying meal which can be made with few ingredients. This recording was made during COVID-19 lockdown time, so I had to work with whatever things I had in my pantry. We made a nice bean soft taco with some avocados and some sour cream. You can get creative, add any toppings, whichever you like, either Mexican or use it like a regular roti if you have gluten sensitivity with any of your regular sabjis and dal.